What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. We got another clip here from The View. So they had Eric Adams go on their show, try to bait him into some Trump derangement, but it did not go as planned. And of course, they followed up with saying that he's toned down his rhetoric about Trump because he's trying to get a pardon because Eric Adams is also facing some legal problems himself. So we're gonna watch both of these clips here, and then make sure you guys stay to the end. We're gonna get into the comment section, but before we play the clip, guys, please hit the like button down below. It really helps the channel out. I'll see you in the video.
Last week, as we all know, Donald Trump secured another 4 years in the White House. But what are the ramifications of a Trump election for blue states like New York, particularly here? So today, to give us his specific take, is New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
Thank you. Thank you.
She's like the female version of Joe Biden to me. Yeah.
First, I want to say congratulations. I hope my son saw the proposal because I need some grandchildren. He needs to get married. You know?
I don't think that was on camera.
In the audience. We had a proposal this morning.
It was lovely.
Right. So let's get right to it. You heard us talking about RFK Jr. being the head of HHS. What do you think about that appointment?
The executives will nominate and bring in those who they believe will move their vision forward. And everything from the fluoride issue, I believe we should have fluoride in the water based on what my experts are telling me. But let's be clear, we have a real problem with our food in our country. And we need to watch what we're feeding our children. And
what is the major problem, do you think?
Too much hormones. You know, many people know my, you know, I almost lost my sight with diabetes. The doctor told me I would be blind in a year. I was going to lose my fingers and toes. And it was my food. It wasn't my DNA. It was my dinner.
But JFK Jr. RFK Jr. ate some pork and now he has a brain worm. Is he the person that should be in charge of that?
Yeah, well, let's
food?
Right. And let's understand this also. In all of these agencies, there are thousands of employees and experts that understand these topics, and there are rules, there are regulations.
Mayor, a lot of them want to resign. When they see some of the people that are going to be on top, I think there's going to be a mass exodus of people who have the institutional knowledge and the institutional memory and DOD at HHS. Who wants to work under our cook?
And let me respond to that. If we love our country, then no one individual should take us away from our mission.
Yes.
If you dedicated your life to a particular place, I dedicated my life to law enforcement. So if a new commissioner came in that I disagreed with, I was not going to say, I'm going to resign. Let's love the country. Let's love our cities. Let's get away from the rhetoric of the professionalism that we know. Those are experts in this. They're going to look at his proposal, do a real analysis, and make these decisions. It happens every day.
Shouldn't he have a background at least?
I love
He should
it.
have some kind of background in this type of thing.
I love it because this is not what they're expecting, right? They're not expecting this, but just watch.
Let me just,
Yeah.
Okay, so Mayor, when Trump returns to office, he will actually have a lot of power with the Republican-controlled Senate and House. He's suggested at times using the National Guard to target the enemy within, and key members of his last administration called him a fascist. But you've defended him. Can you explain?
No, I defended the rhetoric that we're using across our country and what our children are listening to and what we're doing. We've reached a point in this country where we no longer want to engage in conversation. They were even calling him Hitler. That's an insult.
That was only his vice president.
That was an insult.
Joy is so, oh my God. Bless your heart, Joy.
That was an insult to the millions of Jews and others who died. We know what Hitler did. And what I said to our country, when I'm on the streets talking to my young people who are protesting on college campuses, wearing Hamas signs and calling for the destructions of groups, I said, we have to bring down this rhetoric. We have to start engaging in conversation. You know, Obama said it right, and I agree. This is not the divided state. This is the United States. We're the greatest country on the globe, and people are watching us and name calling.
But do you think Trump should have brought down the rhetoric? Because
Everybody should.
Well, let's start at the top then, because maybe it trickles down.
Everybody should.
Yeah, you're right. It should start at the top. That's the Biden administration. You are actually right, Joy. We finally agree on something. I don't think she realized what she just said.
Everybody should.
Mayor, I want to thank you for your remarks after October 7th, calling out anti-Semitism, which has been on the rise in the United States. I thought it was very powerful. Now, the country is unpacking the results of the election.
Yes.
The vice president won New York, but by 12 points as opposed to Joe Biden's 23-point margin. That was a significant move to the right in New York State. What do you attribute and you actually stated that you think, you said the far left agenda is backfiring. What do you attribute the decline in support among Democrats in New York to, and what are Democrats getting wrong?
Well, okay, first I want to go back to your original comment. I was calling for the dismantling of hate in our country. Our Sikhs who are being attacked, LGBTQ members are being attacked, African Americans, Jews. I say let's dismantle the hate. And what you saw in this city, in this election, where you saw a shift and the city becoming, and the state becoming redder, is because we stopped talking about working class people issues. When mom and pops are afraid, I can't pay my college tuition. The rent is too damn high. Healthcare is too expensive. We stopped talking to everyday New Yorkers and Americans. When I'm in the streets talking to them, they're not asking me, Eric, tell me about fascism. They're talking about finance. They're not talking about Hitler. They're talking about housing. We need to talk to everyday.
Hey, bro, where has this Eric Adams been? What the heck?
Working class people. And we stopped doing that. And those are the issues that they are afraid of. They're afraid of the future of their children.
But the Democratic Party was addressing most of those issues with the infrastructure bill, for example, and keeping Medicare and Social Security safe. Why would they vote for the party that will hurt them? I didn't get that.
Well, you know, part of the business of campaigning is getting your message out and being clear on your message. Even the experts in their party were saying, get back to the message. What are we doing for everyday people in the country? And that's the same thing happened in 2022. When I got elected in 2022, I stated that, listen, we need to be talking about crime in this country. They ignored it. We lost the election. During 2023, I said, we got to deal with this migrant and asylum seeker issue. It was on the top 1 or 2 issues in the country. We ignored it. We have to go back and talk to those issues that people are worried about.
Yep, that's right. But the View does not want to hear it. They're out of touch. They're out of touch with reality. These elitists don't understand, and they won't, and they will never, because they're not even trying to listen. Especially Sunny Holston. She'll just sit there and have that smug look on her face. She wasn't listening to what he was saying. She never does. She never does. She thinks she's better than everybody. She's the worst one on this panel. But let's look at this clip. This one says New York City Mayor Eric Adams responds to claims he is now embracing Trump, basically because he's trying to get his charges dismissed.
Mayor, you were talking before the break about folks living in fear. And one of the things that's causing a lot of fear right now is immigration and what Trump is promising to do. It was a key issue for voters. Trump is vowing to do mass deportations. There's 500,000 undocumented immigrants living in New York City. Some have lived here for decades. There's DREAM Act kids, dreamers, living in New York City. Again, some have lived here for decades. What's your message right now for the people in New York living in fear?
And we have to be very clear on the role of...
And this is, once again, these people being disingenuous. Of course, when they're talking about illegal immigration, initially, nobody was really talking about the dreamers or anything like that. They're still not. They're talking about the illegal migrants that crossed the border illegally, not through the port of entry, or that had their day in court and they were ordered to be deported, but that are still here. That's what they're talking about. And also, if there is an illegal immigrant that's been in this country for over 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, why haven't you taken the necessary steps to become documented? Why haven't you applied for citizenship or your green card, whatever it is? Why have you been here for 10, 15, 20 years without doing any of that? Have you been paying taxes for that long? Who knows? But nobody's really talking about them. We're talking about, first of all, these criminals, these migrant criminals that are already known to be criminals in their homeland or have committed a crime here. You can start there. and then everybody that has gotten their day in court and basically their case is dismissed, told to have to go back to their home. That's where you start. That's where you start. Not these dreamers. This is a disingenuous question.
Immigrants in our country and city. Going back to early Italians, early Irish, early the roles of just all the groups, how they have built this country, and particularly in New York City. I don't believe in mass deportation. This is a city where we tell whomever is here to, if you're a victim of a crime, call the police. If your child must be educated, let them go to school. If you need medical attention, allow them to go to the hospital. But Americans have been clear, though. We have a broken immigration system. I don't believe in mass deportation, but I don't believe in mass saturation. 220,000 migrants and asylum seekers came to the city, cost us $6.4 billion. I'm not allowed to let them work. I'm not allowed to have them be participating in the tax base of this city. We can't deport those who commit crimes in our city. We are not allowed to connect with ICE.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. What? Did you hear what he said? They're not allowed to deport them even if they're a criminal. Their sanctuary city laws don't allow them to deport them.
I'm not allowed to have them be participating in the tax base of this city. We can't deport those who commit crimes in our city. We are not allowed to connect with ICE. This is a failed system. We need to fix it. And if we don't fix it, we're seeing what's happening in Chicago, what's happening in Houston, what's happening in Denver. This is wrong for cities to pick up this cost. They only gave me $200 million out of $6.4 billion that it should have gone to everyday issues in our city.
On the other side of that coin, though, you've got Trump, who says that part of his plan is to send.
You see, that's what she wanted him to do, right? She wanted him to talk about Trump and how dangerous he is going to be to the migrants and the dreamers, right? That's how she asked the question. He didn't elaborate on that, and he didn't allow her to steer him into the direction of Trump derangement. And she's going to try to reel him back in. No. I want you to talk about Trump, Eric. You went off track.
Troops into the states and into the cities to conduct these mass deportations. Would you let him come into New York City? What's your scenario? What are your plans if he tries to do that in New York City?
We have sat down and did scenario plannings on all of these issues. And there are a lot of laws, there are a lot of requirements. What we must do is to be prepared to address the issues as they come in front of us. Our team has been there. We looked at all of these issues and all the conversations that are taking place. The operationalizing of the theories that people want to do is different from the actualization of it. Again, people conflate sanctuary cities with the migrant and asylum issue. That's not the same thing. People who are paroled into the country, the sanctuary cities is stating to those who are here that you have the right to access the services of the city, because that's how we treat people in New York City.
Let me ask you this,
Yes.
Mayor. Back in September, you were indicted on charges that allege you accepted luxury travel perks and illegal campaign contributions from a Turkish.
Look how he's looking at her. Look how he's looking at her.
Official who was seeking political favors. Now, a few members of your inner circle have also been indicted. More are under investigation. I understand you have pled not guilty. You continue to run the city. But critics are suggesting that you have recently embraced Trump, perhaps because you want either the charges dropped or perhaps a pardon from President-elect Trump. What's your response to those critics?
Well, I think nothing is more challenging than not being able to defend yourself in public.
You have the floor.
I know that
I'm sorry?
You have the floor.
Well, he can't really talk about the case.
Former prosecutor. I'm so glad you're saying that.
Can't talk
A
about
former
the case,
prosecutor.
but you can talk about whether or not you believe that your recent embracing of Trump, your critics are saying, is because you hope for a pardon or you hope to get some sort of the charges perhaps dropped.
Listen, I said it over and over again. I did nothing wrong. I spent 40 years of my life, 22 of them as a police officer, protecting the children and family of the city. I'm consistent of that. I live my life the way I expect everyday New Yorkers are supposed to live their life. I have a legal team. They're going to manage that case. My job is to do what I've done since January 1st, 2022. Make sure crime goes down in the city, record number of housing that's built in the city, turn around our economy, and make sure as you leave this place that you could enjoy the safety of the city. That's my job. I've lived up to that. And the challenges that we face in life, can you continue to do the job that you were elected to do? And the numbers are clear. I'm doing that every day.
Okay, well, thanks
That
for
is a
coming
politician
by.
answer right there.
Come again if you
Yes,
need
yes.
to.
That is a politician answer right there. Let's get into the comment section because you know it's going to be entertaining. Let's see what people got to say. All right, so the first comment says the look on Mayor Adams' face that he gave Sunny Hostin while she brought up his charges. Hilarious. If thoughts had subtitles, that was funny. Somebody says, cannot believe after all of the yelling and screaming about corruption, they let this man have a spot on their show. Disappointed. I like how Adams dodged the question. Literally, he's a real politician. That was a politician answer if it wasn't one. Says Trump living rent-free in Sonny's head. And also, Anna Navarro's too. Man, she kept talking about him. Cry more, Sonny. Somebody says, here's the petition for The View. Come again if you need to. Somebody says, I noticed New York City Mayor Eric Adams didn't answer Sunny Hostin question directly. What a waste of 60 minutes. Barbara Walters must be rolling around in her grave. Man, save her soul. Somebody says, Mayor Adams' last appearance on The View. He's definitely never coming back. He's definitely never coming back. Let's read the comments on the first clip. All right, so the comments on this one. Sunny is the most deranged individual I've heard. She's up there with Joy Reid, 100%. She's 100% up there with Joy Reid. I don't know who's more deranged. Somebody says Sunny's inability to even be cordial to anyone she disagrees with is very telling. I wouldn't be surprised if this is her last season. I hope so. I hope so. But hey, it makes for great content. Somebody says they were trying so desperately to control the narrative and he didn't take the bait. Good on you, Mayor Adams. Yeah, he didn't fall for it. Somebody says cancel the show. They only have one view. Somebody says they kept interrupting him while he was talking. Yeah, so they're getting cooked on their own channel. Somebody says I'm impressed that Mayor Adams couldn't be controlled by the, yeah. All right, there you have it, guys. There you have it. We'll end it there. Hope you enjoyed the content. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're brand new to the channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Of course, guys, hit the like button down below. It really helps the channel. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.